This is the upstairs office and showroom of CP Lighting. We have examples of work that I've been producing since the early 90s here in the studio. We build objects to specifications that are perfect for each individual job, whether it's a residential commission or a restaurant. We're bringing the idea of a sculptural object into play with a very functional object. Lighting, chairs, tables, clocks, those all fall into the same category for me. What I found when I did my first big International Contemporary Furniture Fair show back in 1994 was that the market was hungry for lighting. The light fixtures suddenly were what was making my living. CP Lighting was born right around then. Over the years, I've found that one of my fortes is material innovation. This is an example of an early object from the mid-90s. This is a lamp made out of recycled acrylic. I take a clear sheet of cast-off acrylic, sand it, color it sometimes, and then hand form it. So for me, it's very exciting to be able to have an object that is both recognizable in a series, but also one of a kind. That same time frame, 1994-95, I was working with found objects, and I brought this little silly fixture to the show my second year as a visual joke, I guess, in the back of the booth. And it's made out of vintage Melmac dinnerware. We put 9 of these in the back with little flicker flame bulbs just to make people smile and catch their eye. And before I knew it, I was in 40 magazines internationally that year alone. I had concurrent exhibitions in window displays at Bergdorf Goodman in New York City and the Museum of American Folk Art. This thing just took off like nobody's business, and it was my introduction into the world of really actually producing things. Early 2000s, a client of mine asked me to create a ceiling fixture. Her initial input was a tree branch, and I thought, what a silly idea at first, and then I started thinking in terms of how I could make that idea my own, and I came up with this way of working with pipes and tubing to weld it together into a tree branch form, and my New Growth series was born. For me, this is the gift that has just kept on giving. We are at a point where I make many different versions of this a year. It can scale up, it can scale down. This is a very small fixture for my series. Work that I'm producing right now ranges from about 3 or 4 foot for a chandelier upwards to as much as 35 feet long. The positioning of light bulbs over a table are very much a concern, but it also has to feel like maybe this something could grow this way. I use aluminum pipe that is a very common industrial material to make these very fluid and nature-inspired forms. I am considering the motion that a tree would grow in. I'm considering the material use. I'm also considering how I'm going to go about wiring this fixture, because all of the wires have to go inside and come to a point together at the trunk. With the aluminum work, I'm using a standardized pipe product that is only specific dimensions. I have to step it down in order for it to end up looking like a branch. So we take an angle grinder with a flap disc attachment to sand this ugly weldment down and smooth it out, blend it all in with itself. After the grinding process, we always take the work, the finished body of work, over to the workbench and add sockets, wires throughout the entire fixture, test it, and slap a UL label on. Get it ready to ship off to our happy clients all over the country. This is a recent commission of mine. It is a new body of work that I've been pursuing, loosely, very loosely based on the idea of the organicness of the New Growth series, where we're taking a series of sticks and kind of throwing them together in space and giving you this very sculptural component. One of the interesting things about this, though, is that it's fully lit by LED engines, which are embedded in each of the branch tips. I developed and designed these lenses, and when you add an acrylic lens that's been sanded to the end of a LED, suddenly you have a light bulb. For me, this is super exciting to be part and parcel of the innovation of the lighting industry. Working with aluminum, as opposed to, say, if this was wood, it can be both additive and subtractive. I can cut pieces off, I can rework pieces as I go. I do value that ability to be flexible and to change with both the needs of my objects as well as the needs of my clients. There's lots of people that are working with this idea of organic form, and I can't say that I started it, but I can definitely feel that I'm very much part of that continuum, and if I've helped somebody push into a different level, I'm all for it. It's kind of like my teaching component in my life. It's definitely something that I'm engaged in.